So basically, James Scharnick went after Lieutenant General Kumalo, and General Mkwanazi said, "Hold up, you don't want to do that." And yeah, today's press briefing was intense, insane. Let me just give you a summary of how where we started and how we got to the press conference. Last week at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, Kumalo implicated Sharnik as a friend of Lieutenant General Sibiya. He said on the day that subs raided Lieutenant General Sibiya's house, General Sibiya was spotted driving a car that belongs to Sharnik. And Sharnik was also one of the people that accompanied Sibiya to the ad hoc committee when he went to testify. Why is that a problem, you might ask? Lieutenant General Kumalo said Sharnik has 35 charges with subs, some of grand uh, theft of motor vehicles and carjacking. And he's like, that is very odd that he can also be friends to such a close proximity with the Deputy National Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Sibiya. He said it makes it tricky for detectives and investigators who are investigating theft of cars and carjacking to now go report to Sibiya, who is friends with a person that seems to be in the syndicate, right? Sharnik, after that, went on a press tour, basically of saying, this is defamation of character. You are tarnishing my reputation. You know that 18 of those charges were one case, and I paid a fine. I was suspended for 5 years. The others were withdrawn. The others I won. You maliciously went out there to tarnish my name and my reputation. And then yesterday, on the 12th of November, Sharnik went to open a case of defamation of character against Lieutenant General Kumalo. And that's when Mkwanazi said, hey, I'll do a press conference today on the 13th of November. But it was not him who did the press conference, like we were told in the morning. It was actually Acting Deputy Commissioner of Crime Detection, Anthony Go Paul. The charges that he laid there, insane. He said they have been going through 29 criminal dockets, all for Mr. Sharnik, and he said 10 of those were for theft of motor vehicles, and then 8 of those were of carjacking, which they constitute as violent crimes. He's like, I do not understand how those 18 dockets can be put into one and trialed as one. He's like, I'm not the NPA, but it's very, very suspicious that this was done, and then they just give him a slap on the wrist and then a suspension for 5 years and a fine of 150,000. There are other charges, including assault, including one that was withdrawn of common robbery. Another one that he was found not guilty was malicious injury to property. Another one of assault, GBH, where he was fined 3,000. Another one of GBH assault, where it was withdrawn because the witness changed their statements or something. Another one of working, that one that they're charging Malim dispensing of a firearm in a public space and all those things. And then another thing that they found out is that a SAPS member, a policeman, a member of SAPS, went on the system and wiped something off the records in favor of James Stuart Sharnik, not knowing that even after erasing, that print is left behind. He also questioned how somebody with such a rep sheet can have 5 firearms. And so he says they dug and looked at all the times that he applied for a firearm. Some of them were denied because he didn't disclose that he had a rep sheet like that, and so on, up until the 4th time and the 5th time where he got these firearms. He said, but these firearms are for like animaling, like, not the way he's been using the firearms, because he said there's a video circulating online, I have not seen it, where apparently he is using that firearm like a security and not for the reasons or how he got the license for. And so I'm sure he regrets opening his mouth. This morning, one person commented that he is so cocky, and we wonder why. How is he so cocky? And I think I responded to that comment. I said, I think he's connected. And if you have a member of SAPS who can risk his job and go and wipe something off the system, and you're friends with a whole deputy police commissioner to an extent where you borrow him your car and you accompany him to the ad hoc committee, I would think you'd be cocky too. I would think you'd be cocky too. And so that was basically the press conference in a nutshell. I was a bit busy, so I didn't watch the questioning. I'll try and get to that a bit later on and see if it's worth a summary as well. But basically, Jerome Kwanazi and Anthony Gopal said, hey, you want to talk about us, the KZN police? Fuck around and find out. And that's exactly what happened.